You know, back at the bank, there was one phrase that still makes my blood run cold. A man would sit across from me, put his rough, working hands on the desk, look me right in the eye, and say quietly, "Draw it up. I'll make it work." He would say it as if he wasn't signing a paper, but signing away his own rest. I don't remember their names. I barely remember the amounts. But I remember those pauses before the signature. That single second where a man says goodbye to his freedom for the next 5 years. The rain is steady tonight. The night is long. I'm driving this truck, and since you've stepped into my cabin, sit down. Just sit. I won't ask you anything. I'm just going to drive you for these 8 minutes into the silence. And at the end, I'll tell you what I realized about debt out here on the highway, and why the weight of it isn't actually in the numbers. It doesn't matter where you are hearing me right now. Maybe you're sitting in your car outside your house because back inside, someone needs something from you again. Maybe you're in the kitchen and the overhead light feels too harsh. Or you're in bed, your phone feels heavy, and the thoughts in your head feel even heavier. If right now your head is spinning with those numbers, credit scores, deadlines, mortgages, I need to make it, I need to earn more. Let's make a deal. For these 8 minutes, you won't beat them. Don't try. Just toss them into the passenger seat. Consider yourself a hitchhiker tonight. I won't ask how much you owe or to whom. Here in this cabin, the rules are different. Outside, the world demands you be successful. In here, it's just the dashboard, the thermos in the cup holder, and the road. The road that doesn't give a damn about your credit rating. For these 8 minutes, you don't need to be together. You don't need to hold it in. You can just be and listen to us cutting through this wet asphalt. Sometimes I shift gears and I can smell that office again. The smell of cheap toner, dust on the files, and that polite, almost mocking beep of the queue number. I sat there, behind the glass, in that white blouse. It always felt too tight in the shoulders, like the system itself was trying to make me smaller, more obedient. And sitting across from me were men. Strong men. Real men. The kind who aren't used to asking for help. I remember one, maybe 45. Work jacket, hands covered in small scars, and his eyes that looked like he had already accepted his fate. He didn't bargain. He just said, "I need to clear this up. I have to." I typed in the data, interest rates, schedules, and I watched as that piece of paper slowly ate up his time. His Saturdays, his peaceful sleep, his time with his kids. He looked at the payment schedule, froze for a second, and then he signed. Confidently, like he was driving in the last nail. "I'll make it work." He stood up and smiled at me before leaving. Politely, kindly. And I thought back then, sometimes you men smile not because it's easy, but so that we women won't see how scared you really are. I didn't become a saint, and I didn't leave into the sunset gracefully. I just looked at the line in the hallway one day and realized, if I stay, I'll get used to it. I'll get used to the word obligation turning into a collar. I'll get used to seeing a human being only as solvency. I quit silently. No speeches. I just closed the door on the world where people are just digits. The road, it's more honest, partner. The highway doesn't care about your job title. If you're tired, you pull over. If it's slippery, you ease off the gas. You can't fake it out here for long. Out here, you are who you are. I promise to tell you what I learned about debt. The trap isn't the money. The scary thing about debt is it starts speaking with your voice. It whispers to you at night, you're not trying hard enough. You have to carry this, even if you can't. You don't have the right to pause. And you start believing that those thoughts are you, but they aren't you. That is just tension. That is the fear of not meeting someone's expectations. But listen to me. If you have debts, it doesn't make you weak. It means that at some point, you took the hit. You tried to solve your family's problems. You built a future with the only tools you had. You held the line the best you could. And if you are exhausted right now, you are not broken. It is just the price for carrying the whole world on your shoulders alone for too long. Alone. I see the truck stop lights ahead. The rain has almost stopped. I'm going to park this rig now, and we can just sit for a minute in the silence. Our little run is over. You're going to turn off this video. The bills won't vanish. The world won't turn pink. But I want you to take one thought with you from my cabin. You are not a payment schedule. You are not a provider function. You are a living man. And a living man has a legal right to just be tired. To not be a hero, to just exhale. If you have no one to say that to tonight, say it to me. I hear you. If you feel even a little bit lighter, write one word in the comments. Rolling. I'll know you're on this run with me, and I'll record the next one. And if you don't want to write, just save this video for the next night when the walls start closing in again. Good night, partner, and take care of yourself. You are worth more than any numbers.